everybody. Welcome to the TRU Sports Show here on the Varsity Sports Network. Bobby Latmore, co-host, along with the coach, Balin Trujillo. Balin, good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, week 5 is here. I'm really excited about this week, especially for this individual that you listeners are going to get to see and hear from. Luke Rucker, one of the most sensational phenoms in the Central Florida area, around the state of Florida. Elite 11 selectee. I mean, you name it, this kid has it. Offers. You know, this kid is a special young man. I've been training him for the last 3 years, and to see him develop into where he is now, going into his junior year at Seminole as a transfer. I mean, I'm really, really excited that you guys get to listen to Luke Rucker himself and hear some of his, story and his background on why he started playing quarterback and who really started that process for him, which would be a funny introduction to that. But yeah, Luke Rucker, I'm really excited about that, as well as talking about the word transfer, right? I was a transfer myself, going from Boone to Oak Ridge High School. Luke is now a transfer from Oviedo to Seminole. We see that all the time now in Central Florida and across the country. Kids are traveling because of COVID, transferring because some of their schools aren't playing in some of the states. So it's just an interesting word, and we're really going to dive into, how it was being a transfer as myself, or what my opinion is on it now, especially with it being kind of so wide open. Back when I was playing, it was kind of rare and it was kind of secretive. Now kids are just doing it. It seems like every single week or every single day of the week. So I'm really excited about that topic at the end. But yeah, Bobby, thank you for having me. Week 5 is here. Yep.
No question about it, Balin. We're looking forward to it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Mr. Luke Rucker here right after this. You're watching the TRU Sports Show here on the Varsity Sports Network. And welcome back here to the TRU Sports Show here on the Varsity Sports Network. Bobby Latmore along with the coach, Balin Trujillo. And Balin, before we went to the break, you mentioned the kid that is one of the going to be a superstar, if he's not already, here in the Central Florida area. Played at Oviedo High School his freshman and sophomore year. Really made his name last year in some spectacular games in the season that he had. Luke Rucker, now at Seminole High School over there with the defending 8A state champions, man. Can they get any stronger?
I mean, they literally went from one stellar quarterback to the next. They did not miss a beat. Obviously, Tim McClain at USF. Go Bulls, by the way. But yes, they go from Tim McClain now to Luke Rucker. And they have 2 years with Luke Rucker. And I'm really excited to see how Seminole transitions from more of a dual threat quarterback to now a pocket passer. We're going to see how the offense kind of changes a little bit for Luke's strengths. But I think with the talent that they have there, I mean, I'm really excited about Seminole. And you're going to hear Luke's prediction later in the interview. And see what he thinks. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where he's headed. He's got offers already as a sophomore going into his junior year, which is pretty awesome as well. Luke Rucker, I mean, there's so much I could say about him. I'll never forget the first time I started training him. He was going into his 8th grade year. He's a 7th grader, and his mom reached out to me and was like, hey, I want you to check out my son. He's been training with a couple other guys, but we really want to see what you're about. We've heard a lot of good things. I think they actually heard about me through my cousin Cohen, who's also out there in the Oviedo area. So they're like, well, we like what Cohen has done on Friday nights. So we want to be around, whoever was training him. Come to find out it was his cousin, myself. So Luke Rucker comes out there. We're at Cypress Grove Park, downtown Orlando. And I remember the first time he threw a football, I literally looked over to his mom and I gave her a thumbs up. Afterwards, we had a good conversation. I was like, this is the position he's been born to play. And if he sticks with it, he's going to be special. Mind you, he was only going into the 8th grade. And so he stuck with it, and he was already like 5'10" at the time. So I'm like, man, he's if he grows up to about 6'3", 6'4", which, his dad's pretty tall, he's got a future at this position. So anyways, we went through his whole 8th grade year training. 9th grade year we were training, and right before he went to high school, I told his mom, this could be something that can really blow up for him. I think he can compete as a freshman. Well, sure enough, he goes into Oviedo, which was his dream school. Asked him when he was in 8th grade what school he wanted to go to, because I like to see where some of the quarterbacks that I train, where they're going to be headed so that I can follow their journey or help in that process. And he said he wanted to always be a Lion. So he ended up going to Oviedo. That was like his dream school because he watched Blake Bortles growing up. And so he wanted to kind of follow in that footsteps and that kind of standard. So he went into Oviedo, started as a freshman, went undefeated, balled out every single game. And then he ended up getting moved up to varsity, finished the last 2 games as a starting quarterback. And then he kind of wrote a story there his sophomore year and was a starting quarterback there. But, seeing him develop over the past years and really, seeing him develop as a true quarterback and learning how to run an RPO system where he's able to use his feet instead of just his arm has been quite special. And I'll never forget, before we go into his interview, we actually ate at a fresh kitchen after a training one time. It was actually going into his sophomore year, after his freshman year, and he had started the last couple games. And I sat down with him and his family. We literally went to eat right after a training, and just to kind of get to know them more, we wanted to kind of feel it out, to really dig deep, because this was going to be a long-term thing, and kind of told them my aspect and my vision for Luke and the process that he was going to go through. And man, I remember telling his mom right there in front of his dad too, as well as just the four of us. And I said, if your son sticks with it, he will be the best quarterback in Orlando, Florida. And I promise you he will be. And they're like, oh, are you just saying that? And I said, look, I've seen talent. I've trained a lot of great talent. I mean, I take pride in the work that I do, but this specific individual, I knew if he stuck with it, he will be the biggest recruiting quarterback in the Central Florida area. So I'm really excited for you viewers and listeners right now to hear his interview that I did with him. And I'm telling you what, you will fall in love with this kid. Here it is. Luke, welcome to the show, man. This is week 5 of the TRU Sports Show, man. I'm really excited to have you on, especially, our history together in quarterback training, and me personally believing you're one of the best in the top quarterback in Central Florida and the state in the class of 2023. But I'm really excited to have you on the show and let the viewers get to know you a little bit and kind of personally get to understand, your background in sports and playing quarterback and seeing, where you might be going in the future and kind of some of the things that you look up to and stuff like that. So, man, thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Coach.
No doubt, no doubt. So I'm going to start off this question. It's a pretty general question. I just want to know a little bit about you. What makes you want to play the quarterback position? When did you start playing football? And when did you really know, like, this is what you wanted to do in life?
I've been playing for a while now, flag football. I've been growing up. I think I started when I was like 6 years old. To be honest, I really started throwing like the ball around with my mom in the yard when I was really young, and she was the first one that really pushed me to let me play the sport. And ever since I've played, I've loved it throughout flag and throughout tackle. It's just amazing sport. I love it. I'm going to love it forever. So, yes, sir.
Wow. So your mom was actually the first person. That's why she's so tough on you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Are there any other sports you played growing up other than football?
Yeah, a little bit. Never to the level of how I play football, but I've played a little bit of basketball, a little bit of track. But that's about it. Never exactly like to the level of play football. So it's always been my number one sport.
Right. Do you have any other hobbies or interests other than football that you like to do on a daily basis?
Yeah, I guess every now and then I'll go fishing, just other stuff like basketball with friends. But when it comes to sports, no, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's get more towards the quarterback position and kind of like the role models that's playing in your life. There's so many different people that you probably looked up to, but is there one specific person that you've looked up to kind of like mold yourself as a quarterback or like kind of motivate you or want to be like as you grow in your career?
Yeah. There are a couple guys. I would say a specific one I couldn't really name, but I say as a role model, I'd say all my coaches, always pushing me, wanting me to be the best. You're one of them, obviously, but all the coaches from my high school, all of them always pushing me to be greater and always work hard. So that's what I'd probably say.
Well, I'm glad I'm the name that you mentioned, though.
Yes, sir.
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, definitely coaches are a big influence. Your mom, probably is a big influence on you. She's pretty tough, and the conversations that we've had, I know she's all in with you. So that's pretty special. Obviously, your dad doing a lot of different things too, and your brothers. I'm pretty sure they, in an indirect way, has motivated you to push and become
100%.
Better as well. I saw your brother just got accepted into a program. What did he get accepted into again?
To UF, yes, sir.
Wow,
that's
got
accepted
cool.
Friday night.
Wow, hopefully you'll be
at school, so he's super happy.
Hopefully
to be
you'll
there.
be having a scholarship there soon.
We'll see
shortly. We'll see.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, like, is there anything that you have, like, as far as like short-term or long-term goals? I know you're a sophomore. Viewers that are watching right now, a little bit about you. You started the last 2 games on varsity your freshman year. You had a phenomenal freshman year on the freshman football team. I think you were undefeated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Did really well. They brought you up, and you ended up starting the last 2 games as a freshman on varsity. Did pretty well. Got a win in a rivalry, right? I'm pretty sure the last game got a win in a big rivalry, which kind of set the tone for your sophomore year. And I remember one day in summer, I was driving to a training, and I saw on Twitter that you had received a scholarship offer to Florida Atlantic University during your sophomore year campaign. We were able to go to a couple, unofficial visits together. I remember we went to FSU together, and that's where you originally met Coach Kelly, who's now at FAU, offered you. And that experience was pretty special to be a part of, and hearing him talk to you about it, and you receiving technically your first verbal offer, which, viewers don't even know, and you didn't even know until later, that you actually, your first official offer was Florida State. And then they carried that same offer to Florida Atlantic where they all moved. So that's pretty cool to say. I mean, granted, you didn't put it on social media and you didn't really understand it at the time, but you actually got a verbal offer from Florida State University on the unofficial visit, and then now an official offer to Florida Atlantic, where Coach Kelly is now. Talk about a little bit of the expectations and, again, the short-term and long-term goals going into your junior year and then senior year at a new school. And, viewers that don't know, you were at Oviedo High School. Now you're at Seminole. So talk about some of those goals.
Yeah, so like you said, we went to FSU together on those unofficial visits, and that's where I got to meet Coach Kelly and really get a relationship with him. And now with him and Coach Taggart leaving and going to FAU, stayed in contact with them. And then he called me up one day, and I'm blessed enough to have an offer to him from FAU. But the goals really are to play college football, really, is for me. Any program that's any good program, I'd love to play for and be blessed to play for them. FAU, one of them, I mean, I love that program. I'm hoping to visit soon with COVID when it gets all, when the dead period stops. So I'd love to have that. But really the main goal is to play college football. So.
How is it transitioning to Seminole as a transfer? Is it easy? Has the team bought in? Like, what about Seminole really, interests you? And obviously the move and everything that plays a part of it. But being at Seminole, like, how is the morale, especially after them winning a state championship? That's pretty impressive. And, they got a lot of standards going into your junior year, especially with you being one of the top quarterbacks in this area. I know you're going to have a lot of eyes on you and a lot of expectations, but how is it that transition from Oviedo to Seminole have been for you so far?
It's been awesome. Like the second I got there, it felt like family. It really did. They really brought me in. I got to meet all the guys. The coaches have been great. Players have been great. And the one thing, it's kind of crazy. Like you said, they just got done winning states. And you'd think like a team who just got done winning states, they'd be happy. They'd be celebrating. They'd just slack off a little bit. No, like we've gone back Christmas break and it's been a grind. Like, since the start. Like they want more. Like they're not settled for one state, and that's what we're going to do this year. We're going to go back to back. That's what I really want to do. So, I mean, the work ethic is insane at Seminole. It's really good. So I'm excited to be here.
Wow, that's awesome, man. And
Sure.
And part of your success, at Oviedo going into Seminole, I know, again, I just mentioned the expectations are pretty high, but viewers also know that you have been selected to participate in the Elite 11, which is coming up in 2 weeks from today, actually. And I'm really excited to be coaching in that and seeing you develop through that, competing against among the best quarterbacks across the state, if not the country, that are invited to this regional at Lake Howell on March 14th. But talk about that experience. We did the Elite 11 script together.
Yeah.
And, appreciate you trusting me. Obviously, been working with you since seventh grade, the end of your seventh grade, going to eighth grade year. And, seeing you develop, I was ready to see you, progress in that script. And I felt like you did phenomenal. We were able to knock that out pretty quick because of, your talent and your ability to throw the football. So talk about what you're looking forward to in the experience of being a part of the Elite 11 as a junior. You still get to do this again next year, Lord willing. But talk about, your experience and what you're looking forward to competing against some of the best across the country here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that's a good way to put it. Like competing against the best kids in the area. I mean, that's awesome. It's always a good thing to do. I mean, not every day you get to do that. I mean, last year, like you said, we did the pro script together and we weren't able to do the actual camp because of COVID, but I'm really excited. This will be my first time competing in the Elite 11 in the actual camp on the 14th. So I'm really excited seeing all the quarterbacks here at Lake Howell, and I'm really I'm excited. I'm ready to compete.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it's right there in your backyard. You're in that Oviedo area, Seminole area. So I know it's not too far from your house. So it's almost like being at home. So I'm really excited to see how that transpires. Talk about, some of your success. What was some of your favorite moments as a sophomore, even as a freshman playing varsity specifically? I know, again, you had a lot of success as a freshman playing on freshman, then varsity, but your 2 games your freshman year or even all last year at Oviedo, what was some of the memories that you've made so far playing the quarterback position on varsity that's really that you'll like hold dear to your heart forever?
Yeah. As a freshman, yeah. Coming in, we went undefeated on freshman. They moved me up, not really knowing if I was going to play at all. Practicing every day, hoping I'd get some reps, and then they finally did let me, which was pretty nerve-wracking. It was our rivalry game against Haggerty at home. A lot of people there. I was blessed enough to play in that game. So the seniors really took me in, which that I feel like is the best part. They really took me in as the leader and let me do what I had to do. And then we got the dub. So that was a really fun game. That was probably one of the more memorable games that I've had so far, especially being my first start and on varsity and the rivalry game. Like it can't really get better than that.
Yeah, man, that, like I said, I remember getting the news after the game and your mom calling me and telling me, we got the victory, ending the season like that, and then seeing your highlights the next day. I mean, that was pretty special. And you were just a freshman. So with what you just did at the end to kind of make a statement going to your sophomore year, then having a phenomenal sophomore year, now going into your junior year with a lot of accolades, man, I'm really excited to see how you progress at the quarterback position, but also see how you lead a team that just won state to potentially back-to-back like you're calling right now. And then hopefully, in my opinion, with what, the coaching stuff that they have there and with you at quarterback and the athletes, I believe they can do a three-peat. I mean, why not? Seminole is definitely historical of having great football teams, always getting to that, either the semifinals or the quarterfinals or even into the state championship game. They've won 2 state championships as a program. Why not the next 2 years? So, if you keep working hard like you've been doing, keep going to trainings, I'm telling you what, I mean, you yourself are going to blow up, but I think that Seminole has definitely got a special talent in you at the quarterback position. I know the coaches are very excited about Mr. Luke Rucker. Let's kind of switch gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about 7-on-7. Let's talk about the team that you're with and some of the success that you've had already playing with them. How has the 7-on-7 circuit been so far for you and playing for your team?
It's been awesome. I'm playing Central Florida All-Stars with Coach Lowe. We've been moving around a lot. We've been to Dallas before, or we went to Dallas, Texas for the One Pylon tournament, which was an awesome experience. We got to go to the Dallas Stadium. Even afterwards, we got to see the All-Americans play 7-on-7, which was an amazing experience. So he's a really good coach, an amazing coach. We're going to all the Orlando Pylons and really getting like a lot of experience, and the tournaments have been great. Team's been good. So, yep.
Awesome, Luke. And last but not least, I just want to just hear you talk about, how do you separate, the success that you're having on the field to how you prepare yourself in the classroom, and how you really stay humble. Because I honestly, in my opinion, with having a lot of success, being around you, I feel like you're one of the most humble kids I've ever been around, and you're always eager to learn. You're always asking questions. You're never shy of getting better. That's something that you can't teach, and that's something that you have, and that's special. And I believe that's going to help you really rise to the top. But just kind of, how do you separate everything? How do you separate football from 7-on-7 to training, to weight training, to, having family life, school time? Because from what I know, you have a pretty high GPA. What's your GPA right now?
4.0.
I mean, you can't get better than that, right? 4.0. So, how do you balance everything in your life?
Yeah. Like you said, separating things, but also everything you do, you need to work hard and do it to the fullest potential. So, like you said, training every day, doing all that stuff. And like everyone says, school always comes first. So without school, you can't even play football. So you need to get that right first to even play football. But everything you do, you have to do it 100%. That's always been my kind of motto. Always got to push yourself to get better every day. So that's how you kind of separate yourself from other people, is you just got to work harder than them, because everyone will be working. You got to push yourself to the next limit. So
I love it.
Yep.
Well, Luke, man, I appreciate you coming on the show today. I'm so happy that the viewers get to know you and kind of your background and what really got you started, which is funny. That's the first I've heard about your mom and you throwing the football with her. So, I'm going to give her some advice about that. She might need some training, but I'm really excited about you, Luke, man. And you're a special young man. And, I feel like, the sky's the limit for you. And, if I have it any other way, you'll be signing to Miami in 2 years, but hey, the Lord knows where you'll be ending up. And I believe you're going to be the best 2023 quarterback in this area if you continue doing what you're doing, not just because you're training, but because of the coaching staff that you're around, the offense you're in, and the kind of the reputation that they hold at a high standard, being a state champion. That's really going to set you apart from the rest. And I'm really, really excited to see how you develop the next 2 years. And I'm honestly blessed to be part of your life in a small way, even if it's just training, and there's so many people that, can say that they've helped you in any different aspect, but ultimately it's you playing the game on Friday nights that's helped you get to where you are today. And that's a testament to you and your family. And I'm really excited to be, again, a small part of that. So Luke, I cannot wait to see how you develop and see the journey for another 2 years, man.
Yes, sir.
And can't wait to train you again and see you in 2 weeks with the Elite 11. And, I'm going to be throwing you right in the front of the line.
Yeah.
So just be
Awesome.
prepared, man, but you're ready for it. So I'm proud of you, buddy. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Coach. And again, thank you for having me.
No doubt, man, Luke. Have a great day.
Awesome. You too.
Balin, I tell you what, man, this kid's strong. I mean, very strong. He's going to be, no doubt, his sophomore year, as we talked about before, was ecstatic. Moving to Seminole this year, going to be a different kind of atmosphere for him, but I think maybe a better one since the Oviedo squad has had 3 coaches in the last 2 years. Inconsistency over there, but I think Coach Eric Lodge, number one, I know he's tickled pink about this, but also just having a quarterback step in, reload in his offense, because he's got a ton of talent coming back. Running back position, several wide receivers still coming back. I mean, that's going to be a very strong team as well for Seminole again this year. So Luke, man, he's going to have this junior and senior year. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I really hope he finally buckles down and commits to Miami once he gets that off, because I think it's coming soon. But I think he wants to be a Gator. But I know at the end of the day, he's going to go where what best suits him. But talking back to Seminole, yeah, I'm really excited to see Eric Lodge and how he uses, again, Luke's skill set at the quarterback position, because he is the same type of caliber as Tim McLean. But at the end of the day, they are 2 different style of quarterbacks. Tim McLean can do things to hurt you with his legs and his arm. Luke definitely has the arm talent to beat anybody. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of style of offense that's going to be geared towards Luke's skill set to help them become successful and ultimately win back-to-back state titles, if not a three-peat, which I believe they can do so. So, again, I'm really excited about Luke's career, and I'm blessed to be a small part in his journey as his quarterback coach and trainer. And I know that they got a couple good ones now over at Seminole High School. I think they got PJ Jack, who just accepted the position there, and they got a couple other quarterback coaches there. I think they got like 3, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to help develop him, and a speed trainer as well. They do workouts every Sunday and stuff. So again, I'm really excited to see how Luke is going to take over the quarterback position and recruiting in this area at his position and his classification. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you, Bobby, for again having him and being able to give me the platform to use this to help other kids or other people understand and learn more about these quarterbacks around Central Florida.
No question about it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more here on the TRU Sports Show right after this on the Varsity Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, here to the TRU Sports Show here on the Varsity Sports Network. Bobby Latmore, Coach Balin Trujillo. And Balin, Luke brings up an interesting concept of what's been going on for a very long time in Central Florida, all over the state, and basically all over the country, where kids transferring from one school to another to make themselves better, obviously put themselves in a better situation so they can get a college scholarship to go somewhere after their high school career. Talk to me a little bit about it. You were a transfer coming out of high school, which definitely benefited you in your career to play quarterback at the next level. Talk to me a little bit about this transfer rule. Talk to me about this, the free choice, school choice that's out there, and we're basically allowing these kids to move back and forth to these schools.
Yeah, so I know there's several different, rules where it comes to kids transferring, whether that's moving into another location in the school zone. I mean, some counties don't even have a restriction of where they can play. Like in Osceola County, those kids can go to any school they want to as long as they're in county. Whereas Orange County, you have to be in the school district. And some schools in Orange County have low population, which allows those kids, like the school choice, to go into that if they really wanted to attend the school. And then they might have to provide transportation or get transportation or whatever. But as far as the overall concept of transferring, I'm in full support of it. I know a lot of coaches don't like it because they all go back to the community base. They say, well, why don't kids just stay in their community and play in the neighborhoods that they grew up in and really take pride in that? Well, at the end of the day, it's not about the coaches. It's about the kid. And if we really, again, gear towards the kid and what sounds best and what is best for them and their future, that's what matters. And that's what I tell all the quarterbacks that I train. And again, that's just part of the reason why I got out of coaching high school sports, because, people were assuming that I was trying to get kids to transfer to Oak Ridge or stuff like that. When, at the end of the day, it's not about me. I don't care. I want the kids to be successful. So if they're at a school that they like to be at, that's great. At the end of the day, it's about them. So I tell them, make the best decision for you and your family, not be based off a coach because you have a good relationship with them, but based off what's going to get you to that next level. So I'm in full support of transfers. I was a transfer myself. The biggest regret that I have in my life, other than just ignoring my dad training me my whole life, I wish I would have really accepted his teaching and not rejected it, is that I didn't transfer earlier. I wish I would have transferred earlier. I was in a political school, Boone High School, and, I waited and waited, and my dad believed I can earn the position at quarterback, and they were running more of a pro-style offense, which, again, at the end of the day, wasn't going to get any quarterback to ever play there at the next level, at least at the Division I level, because of the style of offense, which is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. So, yeah, it's great for a running back, but for a quarterback, it's absolutely horrendous. So, that move was a move for me, and I made it my senior year, and it changed my life. In 1 year, had over 8 scholarship offers, played at the University of South Florida, which was Division I, ended up playing professionally, and now doing the things I do every single day. It's all based because I literally transferred my senior year to Oak Ridge High School, and Coach Elijah Williams set my whole life up, getting me recruited at the Division I level, which, again, is something that I'm appreciative to this day, and which is why I'm very high on Jones High School. And it's not because of Jones, it's because of Elijah Williams, who changed my life as a coach. So, and he gave me an opportunity at Oak Ridge running a spread offense that's helped me to get recruited and live out, the dream that I had of playing pro sports in Division I and college in general. So for other transfers, that's the same case, right? Kids are transferring all the time to powerhouse programs because, in their opinion, they think that it's the best position for them to get a scholarship. And 90% of the time, that is an accurate statement. Now, what they also run into is, yes, you're not the only kid that's going to transfer to that high school. So in other positions, quarterback, there can only be one on the field. So quarterbacks, it's very strategic in how they view transfers and where they go and the connections that they have, or if they move into a certain district and trying to see the different schools in that area and what best fits them. Because, again, there's only one on the field. You run into that, scenario in other positions like receiver or running back or DBs, linebackers, linemen, right? Where you're going into a place where there's multiple that can play that position. So you give yourself, one, a better opportunity, but two, you have to understand when you transfer to powerhouse programs, and I'll name a few of them right now. You have Seminole, Dr. Phillips, Edgewater, right? Osceola. Those are like your 4 powerhouse programs that you're like, if I'm going to transfer somewhere, I'm going to probably end up going there because I feel I have the best opportunity possible. West Orange, Wekiva, to name a few. So when the kids do that, guess what? Other kids are trying to transfer in as well. So they think that's the best scenario for them. But guess what? They might not necessarily be the guy when they get there because there's other guys there that transferred or stay there or whatever. But at the end of the day, keeping the main thing, I believe transfer is a good thing as long as it works well for the family. But at the end of the day, my personal opinion, I can care less what coaches think because at the end of the day, it's about the kids. And if the kid feels like this school is not helping me because they're running a pro-style offense, they're running an RPO offense, or they're running a spread offense, and that's not geared towards at least I'm talking about the quarterback position, they need to get out and find a new home. Now, for other positions, if again, does it fit you? Does the system fit you? Does it work out for you? But at the end of the day, my objective and coaches' objectives, regardless of how they feel, should be about the kids and always about the kids and what best suits them and their family. Their family wants to move houses, let them do it. I had to live in an apartment with my sister, share a bedroom with her just so I can go to Oak Ridge. Like, there's things that my family had to go through just to put me in situations to be successful. And it worked out. And I thank them every day for it. And yeah, I think I do take it for granted more than I would like. But at the end of the day, that they are the reason, my parents are the reason for their belief in my abilities. And, Oak Ridge taking a shot on me with their spread offense and a new head coach in Elijah Williams, that I'm able to live out my dream and be able to talk about the experiences I've had playing college football. So I am all for transfer as long as it's done it the right way. I don't like illegal transfers. I don't like how kids try to manipulate things. Don't like how, parents unfortunately have to go through separational things and stuff like that. Like, I just don't like that stuff. But if it's done the right way, and whether that's a magnet program, actually moving into the district with a true address, right, stuff like that, I'm all for it as long as it's about the kid and what makes them better. And at the end of the day, if coaches don't like kids leaving, do something that doesn't make them want to leave.
Good job. Good topic. A lot of good stuff right there on that transfer world. So that's it for this week's episode, number 5 in the books. So
there it is. Can't wait for next week.
Yep. We'll see you next week. It's the TRU Sports Show here on the Varsity Sports Network.